Modi-Shah combine sprung yet another surprise today, where 3 CM names were announced in the 3 states that the BJP won on the 3rd of December. One thing is amply clear after the announcement of these 3 names, that what we see right now is a completely new BJP era under Prime Minister Modi. With the tribal chief minister Vishnu Dev Sai in Chhattisgarh, an OBC CM Mohan Yadav in Madhya Pradesh, and today an upper caste Bhajan Lal Sharma in Rajasthan. The message being sent out by the BJP is that of a rainbow caste coalition. Earlier, the party that used to be known as a Brahman Banya party now has Mandal, Kamandal and Tribal. But let's now take a closer look at Team Rajasthan that was announced today. In addition to Bhajan Lal Sharma, who is a first-time MLA by the way, and has been made Chief Minister, he comes from the Sanganer Assembly constituency, which is a part of the Jaipur Lok Sabha seat. So it's an urban constituency. The state also got 2 Deputy Chief Ministers. First Deputy CM is Diya Kumari. She's from a royal family. She's a young royal face, is a Rajput. And the second Deputy CM is Prem Chand Bairwa. He comes from a backward community. Now remember, many people had claimed that Vasundhara Raje is none too happy with efforts to sideline her in the state's politics. For over 2 decades, Rajasthan has seen a revolving door between her and Ashok Gehlot. Every time the BJP was in power, Vasundhara Raje was the chief minister and the Congress was helmed by Ashok Gehlot. But the Modi-Shah team today changed that revas. But despite that, the BJP insists that all the reports of an unhappy Vasundhara are rubbish and all is still well.
श्रीमती वसुंधरा राजे के द्वारा श्री भजन लाल शर्मा का नाम प्रस्तावित किया गया और सर्वसम्मत से सभी ने इनका समर्थन किया है और मैं आश्वस्त हूं कि श्री भजन लाल जी शर्मा के नेतृत्व में यह राजस्थान तेजी के साथ प्रगति के पथ पर आगे बढ़ेगा। सभी कार्यकर्ताओं ने श्री भजन लाल जी शर्मा को अपनी हार्दिक बधाई दी है।
मैं इतना विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि राजस्थान की ये जो टीम है, राजस्थान के जो सभी हमारे विधायक हैं, निश्चित रूप से जो राजस्थान की अपेक्षा है हमसे, भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, हम माननीय हमारे यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम राजस्थान का पूरी तरह से सर्वांगीण विकास किसी भी क्षेत्र में हो, निश्चित रूप से हम पूरा करेंगे।
It's not a surprise. I think BJP always values its karyakartas and gives them responsibility, and it has done the same in, of course, Rajasthan as well, and of course by giving the responsibility to Hamare Bhajan Lal ji ko, who's worked so hard for the party over so many years. So very happy that he's been made the Chief Minister of Rajasthan.
What is on your cards, ma'am? You have been made Deputy
Yes.
CM. Congress is damage control. What would you, the future of in the next 5 years for Rajasthan? What's on your cards?
See, that all will be decided in the next few days, of course. But Bharatiya Janata Party always works for the upliftment of the poor, giving security to women, making them self-dependent, and also development is a very big infrastructure development. Everything is all making the country a developed nation is what the Pradhan Mantri ji is focusing on, and of course Rajasthan will be following in the same lines.
So let's examine the things that stand out in the decisions taken over the last 4 days. For one, relatively young leaders have been given the top spot. All 3 chief ministers across Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh are in their late 50s. They also, by the way, have a very strong RSS background. None of the VIP faces like Jyotiraditya Scindia, Kirori Lal Meena, Kailash Vijayvargiya that were being spoken of have been given any big responsibility. In fact, barring Narendra Singh Tomar, who was the agriculture minister at the centre, he was made to fight the assembly elections and now he's been made the speaker of the Madhya Pradesh Assembly. None of the other MPs and ministers who contested the assembly polls and then resigned from their Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha membership have been given any post at the state level. So essentially, from being MPs and mantris, they are all now going to be simple MLAs. But above all is the message of a new BJP with a rainbow caste calculation cutting across OBCs, Brahmins, tribals, Rajputs, and only one face, that of Narendra Modi. But is that BJP ready for the 2024 elections? Is this a gamble, an experiment, and is it going to work, or could it end up actually hamstringing the BJP?
हमारा भी ओबीसी था, इन्होंने ओबीसी दिया, ठीक है, वो इशू नहीं है। सवाल ये है कि स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर कितनी भागीदारी है। प्रधानमंत्री ओबीसी हैं, मगर सरकार को 90 अफसर चलाते हैं। 90 अफसर में से 3 ओबीसी हैं, और जो ओबीसी हैं उनका कोने में ऑफिस है। तो मेरा पॉइंट है कि सरकार का सिस्टम, हमारा इंस्टीट्यूशनल सिस्टम जो है पूरा का पूरा, उसमें ओबीसी की कितनी भागीदारी है, दलितों की कितनी भागीदारी है, आदिवासियों की कितनी भागीदारी है, ये हिंदुस्तान के सामने मेन सवाल है।
जब राहुल जी कास्ट सेंसस के बारे में कह चुके हैं, तो एक के बाद एक राज्यों में जो चीफ मिनिस्टर बनते हैं वो उसी समीकरण के मुताबिक बनते हैं, जहां कास्ट मतलब जातिगत समीकरण ठीक रहे, अगले दिन ये कह पाए देखो मैं तो कास्ट समीकरण मान के ही सब कुछ करते हैं, मतलब फिर राहुल जी की आगाहों में मोदी जी चलने लगे।
It's their internal matter. Why should we have a comment on that? But it's very amusing to see the insecurity with which Mr. Modi deals with his own colleagues. The way he pushed Mr. Lalkrishnan Advani into the Margdarshak Mandal. The way he keeps trying to push Mr. Gadkari into the same Mandal. Now he's pushing Mr. Shivraj Chauhan in the Margdarshak Mandal.
All right, let's take this across to the guests who are joining us now. We have Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the BJP, Sameer Chaugankar, senior journalist, will be joining us in just a while, Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, political analyst, Anurag Bhadoria, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Saban Naqvi, senior journalist. Let me actually start with you, Qamar Zaman Chaudhary. What do you make of this entire calculation? There's a tribal also, there's an OBC also, there is a woman also, there's a Rajput also, and for good measure, there is a Brahman also.
So, Padmaja, in a way, you are accepting that BJP is the father of identity politics? Is that so? If not, then we all are Indians. It doesn't matter who becomes the CM of a state. But then, you know, out of all this hullabulla of accommodating all the caste into the power politics of the country in different states, you have left out a 20% population of the country, the minority population which does not find a representation not in the ministries, not in the MLAs of the BJP ruled state. That is the real picture that the BJP is very afraid to project. There is a second, what you call, side to entire this thing. You know, the entire Gujarati duo of the central decision-making body of the BJP is so insecure that a Shivraj Singh Chauhan cannot be a new chief, a powerful leader of central India. A Vasundhara Raje cannot be a powerful leader. You will never see anybody so insecure rather than the Gujarati duo of Prime Minister and the Home Minister.
Okay.
For the simple reason that as the central government is being remote controlled by these two people, they also want to remote control each and every state of the country. That's why the first time MLA has been made the chief minister. A person, no matter who he is, accused of land grabbing in Ujjain has been made the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
So this is the total story of the Bharatiya Janata Party right now.
Okay, so let's take this one by one. There are many points that you have raised. By the way, since you mentioned minorities, you said that 20% Muslims have not been given representation in any of the three governments. The tribals are actually at 8.5%. So they are actually a bigger minority than the Muslims in our country. And they have their first chief minister, the second chief minister actually, in a state like Chhattisgarh. Sizable tribal population in Chhattisgarh, but you did not make a tribal chief minister. Now there is a tribal CM. Answer the question, are you a casteist party? Why are you doing all this caste calculation, Sanju Verma, while making your CMs and deputy CMs?
Padmaja, it is national spokesperson, not just spokesperson. Thank you. I will answer each of the reckless and baseless allegations made by the unofficial spokesperson of the Congress party. Each time you say Gujarati duo, you're killing the meager chances that you have in Gujarat. Don't forget that while the BJP, despite 15 years of so-called anti-incumbency, 156 seats in the Gujarat Assembly elections with a 52.5% vote share, the Congress was reduced to 27% vote share and a measly 1717 seats. So obviously you don't care about what the electorate does at the hustings when you come on national television and try and take pot shots at the Gujarati electorate by saying Gujarati duo in a manner which is obviously sarcastic and sardonic for reasons best known to you. But I will just say this OBC, narrative has been peddled and it has run its course. And I think the best example of that is the fact that Congress को मुंह की खानी पड़ी और मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया जनता ने, जनादेश दिया, जमकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट मिले इन ऑल द 3 स्टेट्स, छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान. एंड इस ओबीसी के लिए बीजेपी ने कुछ नहीं किया, आदिवासियों के लिए कुछ नहीं किया तो व्हाई डिड यू लूज राजस्थान? व्हाई कुड यू नॉट गेट पावर इन मध्य प्रदेश डिस्पाइट बीजेपी's so-called anti-incumbency of 18 long years? Why could you not retain power in Chhattisgarh when you said भूपेश बघेल ने तो बहुत बढ़िया काम किया है आदिवासियों के लिए? I will tell you now hard facts in 30 seconds. 35% of Narendra Modi's cabinet comes from the OBC community, point number 1. Point number 2, 37% of our MLAs come from the OBC community. Point number 3, 40% of our MLCs come from the OBC community. Point number 4, in 2021, Yadav OBC Bhupender Singh Yadav was made Union Environment Minister. OBC Yadav Sudha Yadav was made a part of the BJP's parliamentary board, the highest decision-making body in 2022. Both in 2015 Bihar elections and in 2020 Bihar elections, roughly 23 to 25 seats were allocated to the Yadavs, which is an OBC community for the Bihar Assembly elections. Haryana got its OBC president, Nayab Singh Saini. We appointed him as the Haryana BJP president. And last but not the least, when we say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, we walk the talk. And I think the best example of that is that today, for the first time, you have a tribal chief minister. Because don't forget, it's not Ajit Jogi, because Ajit Jogi's tribal certificate was cancelled by the Congress. So, Vishnu Deo Sai is the first tribal chief minister of any state. Okay. Draupadi Murmu is the first tribal president.
So hold on a second. So you are saying that all of these caste calculations is not at play at all? These are just deserving people. Because Kamal Zaman Chaudhary says if you are choosing Vishnu Desai because he's a tribal, Mohan Yadav because he's an OBC, then that just shows you judging people by their caste, not their merit.
Padmaja, I'm not going to take the easy way out. Caste calculus, social engineering, these are very important, factors that come into the overall dynamic when you decide on who will lead the state. But, let us not make caste the be-all and end-all. Tell me one thing. Bhajan Lal Sharma is a first-time MLA, but the BJP chose to repose its confidence in him because he's been associated with Rajasthan politics. Earlier, he was an RSS worker for 25 long years. Vishnu Deo Sai is not just a tribal leader. He was not given a Lok Sabha ticket in 2019 despite being a minister in Modi's first cabinet. He worked diligently, his loyalty was tested, his patience was rewarded. And as for Dr. Mohan Yadav, he is a PhD, he is a MBA. He is more educated than a lot of so-called people who sit here and play the minority card. And as far as minority, last point on minorities. Do you remember that, Danish Azad Ansari became the first Pasmanda Muslim to be given a cabinet berth in Yogi Adityanath's cabinet? And then let us not forget that Najma Heptullah, she was a congressman. She joined BJP in 2012. From 2014 to 2016, Najma Heptullah was a minister in the Modi cabinet.
Okay, let's not go into the minority issue because, that has been done to death. We have debated it to death. Today, we are talking about the choices that have been made. Quickly, you want to respond, Kamal Zaman Chaudhary, and then I want to go to Anurag Bhadoria and Samir Chaugankar. Yes.
Yeah, you know something, the people from the Bharatiya Janata Party, they will suggest that Narendra Modi has done such a wonderful selection in the chief minister of the 3 states that they've just now announced. But they basically forget what Rahul Gandhi pointed out, that in the secretaries of the government of India, what is the percentage of the OBC, SC, ST in the secretary's post? They failed to answer this simple question.
Okay, we are again not going to have that debate because that has also been done to death, and I don't want to sidetrack from what is being discussed today. Anurag Bhadoria, before I come to you, I want to show you some data. Today we are talking about Mr. Bhajan Lal, but yesterday also a very interesting choice was made in making Mohan Yadav the chief minister. Now most people wondered, where has this person come from? Why is this relatively new person being made the chief minister, overlooking people like, there were names like Prahlad Patel, Shivraj Singh Chauhan already was the chief minister. Here is the thing, that the non-Yadav OBCs time and again have voted for the BJP, especially in states where they are sizable in number. In 2019 elections, non-Yadav OBCs were behind the BJP, especially in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. However, the Yadav vote has gone to the SP and BSP. 60% of the Yadav vote went to the SP and BSP as opposed to see the other non-Yadav OBCs. The Koiri Kurmis, 80% voted for the BJP and other OBCs 72%. So Mohan Yadav, Anurag Bhadoria, is an effort to try and get the Yadav OBCs towards the BJP. क्या आपको लगता है कि आप खतरे में पड़ सकते हैं कि कोयरी कुर्मी तो कर ही रहे हैं वोट बीजेपी को, अब जो यादव हैं, जो लिटरली आपके MY के Y हैं, वो वहां चले गए तो कैसे चलेगा?
मुझे तो इस बात पे हंसी आ रही थी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता, आज ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे लगता तो कास्ट सेंसस पे बात कर रहे हैं, कितनी ओबीसी हैं, कितनी एसटी हैं, मुस्लिम में भी पसमंदा मुस्लिम, मतलब मुस्लिम में मुस्लिम नहीं बता रहे हैं, उसमें भी उनको पसमंदा मुस्लिम बता रहे हैं, और फिर कहते हैं कि हम तो कास्ट सेंसस पे विश्वास ही नहीं करते, हम तो जाति की राजनीति नहीं करते। तो आप अल्टीमेट हमारे रास्ते पे आए ना, हम यही तो कह रहे हैं कि समाज के अंदर में सामाजिक न्याय होता है। हम जब कास्ट सेंसस की बात करते हैं, जाति जनगणना की बात करते हैं, तो आप मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं खड़े होते? अब राजनीति तो जाति के ऊपर करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन जब जाति जनगणना की बात आती है तो आप इधर उधर भागने लगते हैं। मतलब हमारा पीडीए को आप समझ पाए हो, आपको लगता है जो पीडीए है समाज को वही आगे ले जा सकता है, उसी रास्ते पे आप चलने की कोशिश कर रहे हो। आपको लग रहा है पिछड़ा, दलित, अल्पसंख्यक और आधी आबादी तो आप भूल ही गए। आधी आबादी के बारे में तो आपने चर्चा ही नहीं की, आप तो रिजर्वेशन की बात करते थे, वुमेन रिजर्वेशन की बात करते थे, एक मुख्यमंत्री वुमेन नहीं बना पाए आप इतनी हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पाए। हाँ वैसे आप बनाएंगे भी कैसे, वैसे आप महिलाओं का सम्मान करते भी कहाँ है?
चलिए, समाजवादी पार्टी ने कितनी महिला मुख्यमंत्री बना दी है ये भी बता दीजिए अनुराग जी। While we are at it, अगर महिला का सम्मान उनको मुख्यमंत्री बनाना है तो गेस्ट हाउस के रास्ते आपने कितनी महिला मुख्यमंत्री बनाई है उसका भी आप व्याख्यान कर दीजिए।
अब सुन तो लीजिए, मेरी बात सुन लीजिए। 3 राज्यों में अभी इनकी सरकार आई, इसलिए इनसे सवाल है कि आप
सरकार तो आपकी भी एक राज्य में आई है ना, आपने कितनी महिलाएं बना दी है मुख्यमंत्री, आप बता दीजिए।
साथ नहीं खड़े, अब आप कमेंट्री, अरे भाई आप रनिंग कमेंट्री करोगे, आप सवाल पूछ लो, मैं जवाब दे दूंगा। आपका सवाल हो गया?
हाँ, मेरा सवाल है, एक बार दोबारा रिपीट कर देती हूँ। अगर महिलाओं का सम्मान उनको मुख्यमंत्री बना के होता है, समाजवादी पार्टी ने अपने सारे टर्म्स में कितनी महिलाओं को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया, ये आप कृपया बताएं।
अच्छा आप रुकिए, थोड़ी देर होल्ड कीजिएगा, मुझे 2 मिनट बोलने दीजिएगा, क्योंकि आपके पेट में दर्द होने लगता है। आपको लगता है बीजेपी की किसी कमजोर अगर हम नस बीजेपी की पकड़ ले तो आपको बैटिंग करने
होने लगता है जब आप सवाल का जवाब नहीं देते। आप सवाल का तो जवाब दीजिए।
हाँ, सर में दर्द हो रहा है, होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, होगा सर में दर्द होगा, क्योंकि वो दिक्कत है, मुझे पता है क्यों हो रहा है, आप मुझे बोलने दीजिए। मैंने कहा कि महिलाओं की जब 3 राज्यों में जीती है, एक राज्य में कम से कम महिला मुख्यमंत्री बना देते। इतना महिला समस्या की बात, हाँ महिलाओं पे, भाई देश की राष्ट्रपति जो प्रथम महिला, उनको जब पार्लियामेंट के उद्घाटन में नए संसद भवन में नहीं बुला सकते तो मुख्यमंत्री आप कैसे बना सकते हैं? जब आप मणिपुर की बेटियों के साथ अन्याय हुआ,
अगेन आप डिबेट को प्लीज, अनुराग भदौरिया, प्लीज डू नॉट साइडट्रैक द डिबेट। आई अगेन वांट टू आस्क यू, व्हाट डू यू मेक ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट नाउ अ यादव हैज बीन मेड अ चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ अ बीजेपी रूल्ड स्टेट? क्या आपको लगता है कि इसका सिग्निफिकेंस है, इसका कोई राजनीतिक असर पड़ेगा, हाँ या ना?
किसका?
कि एक यादव भाजपा के मुख्यमंत्री हैं मध्य प्रदेश में।
क्या सवाल है? देखिए, एक चीज याद रखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश या देश हो, हम लोग समाज में विकास की राजनीति करने वाले लोग हैं, इसलिए समाज का हमारा जो स्लोगन है काम बोलता है। इसलिए हम अपने काम गिनाते हैं कि हमने समाजवादियों ने जो एक्सप्रेस बनवाए, मेट्रो बनाया, जो समाजवादी पेंशन दी है, रिवर फ्रंट बनाया, स्टेडियम बनाया जहां इंटरनेशनल मैचेस होते हैं, हमने पार्क बनाए जैसे पार्क जैसे, हमने यहाँ फ्री लैपटॉप दिए हैं, बच्चों को पूरी दुनिया से जोड़ा इंटरनेट के माध्यम से, हमने मेडिकल कॉलेजेस बनाए हैं, हमने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तैयार किया है। तो हमारा काम है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी जाति धर्म की राजनीति करती, वही तो मैं आपसे कह रहा हूं।
अच्छा, ठीक है, काम बोलता है and ultimately you have taken up the playbook, the PDA formula of Akhilesh Yadav. Sanju Verma, respond to that.
ओके, अभी मैंने अनुराग भदौरिया की बात सुनी, किसके पेट में दर्द हो रहा है, पद्मजा जी के सर में दर्द हो रहा है। You know, that is not the moot point of discussion. Padmaja Joshi asked you a very interesting question and you kept beating around the bush without giving a cogent answer. I will just tell you this, I will reinforce. Caste calculus is important in the Indian political dynamic. There's no getting away from it. Social engineering does matter. But most importantly, when the Bharatiya Janata Party says Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, is it just a mere homily? Is it just a platitude and a slogan? No. And I will reinforce one fact. That forget about the fact that Draupadi Murmu is the first woman president after Pratibha Patil and the first tribal president and the first one from a small tribe, the Santhali tribe from a remote district of Odisha. That's not the important point. Forget the fact that we were able to bring to fruition the women reservation bill, which was hanging for, the last 3 decades. It was hanging in abeyance. That is not the moot point. I just have this to say. In Bharatiya Janata Party, I think, Padmaja, beyond the caste dynamic, what finally matters, and I think that matters in politics, it is only when you can win that you will be able to deliver on the agenda that you have for the electorate. And Bhupendra Bhai Patel of Gujarat was the first time MLA, and when he was made the chief minister, replacing Vijay Rupani, and that was just 12 months ahead of the Gujarat assembly elections. I remember many political pundits saying, अरे ये विजय रूपानी को तो हम जानते हैं, भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल कौन है? गुजरात में तो बीजेपी का सुपड़ा साफ हो जाएगा. भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल delivered a historic mandate. Now that Bhajan Lal Sharma, a Brahmin face, a first-time MLA, has been made the chief minister of Rajasthan, they say, अरे अब तो बीजेपी का कास्ट कैलकुलस बिगड़ गया, ये ब्राह्मण चेहरे को सामने लेकर आए. Why not an OBC or why not Kironi Lal Meena, a tribal? I will just say that the public is very smart, and I'll just take 10 seconds to tell you why. I was in a debate with an official national spokesperson of the Congress. Prior to Karnataka elections on another channel, this person kept saying that Siddharamaiah is a Dalit, is a Dalit, is a Dalit. Suddenly now, I heard her say Siddharamaiah is not a Dalit, he is an OBC. Ditto with Kamal Nath. They kept saying Kamal Nath is a tribal, a tribal, a tribal. Prior to the Madhya Pradesh elections, the same lady with whom I was in a debate said, "नहीं, Kamal Nath तो हमारा OBC चेहरा है." My point is, आप तो ये भी नहीं तय कर पा रहे हो, Kamal Nath tribal है या OBC.
Okay.
आप ये नहीं तय कर पा रहे हो, सिद्धारमैया दलित है या OBC. और बड़े आए आप हमको ज्ञान देने.
Okay, Sabha Rakwi, what do you make of the fact that, the buzz was there is going to be backward representation, and suddenly you have Bhajan Lal Sharma, very curious, comes from an urban constituency. In 2003 he actually rebelled and he contested as an independent and he lost at that time. Now somebody who is from the Jaipur seat, he is an urban face, first time MLA and a Brahmin at that, has been made chief minister. Why?
So I think, first of all, in all the choices, what I see is the importance of the Sangathan. We can all see that, but I think there's a reason for it. This election, the mandate, since covering the arrival, first of all, let's remember when Prime Minister Modi entered electoral politics, he was not even an elected MLA. He was a selected chief minister, right? He was able to turn it around. But what was he? He was a Sangathan Mantri, organizing secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi, which is when journalists like me used to go there, which is the first time we encountered this pracharak. Then he becomes an unelected figure. Anyway, the importance of the Sangathan is primary in his way of thinking. And now it is about him, of course. I mean, the others have been sidelined, but I think this mandate, this one, as we head into 2024, this is going to be about Modi ka guarantee. It is about delivery to every voter. So he's going to prep up the Sangathan. And if you look at one contradiction, Padmaja, in the case of now you can do this in the Hindi belt. You can not make Shivraj something right now. Vasundhara can be ignored. But for instance, in Karnataka, Yediyurappa was removed as chief minister and an insignificant person was given charge, Bommai. But recently, in November, as we were campaigning for these elections, Yediyurappa's son Vijendra was made the state unit chief because he is a bulk Lingayat, one big caste leader. But the Hindi belt is a different story. Hindi belt is united. Hindutva works much better over there. There is, and the Sangathan is so, and yes, the big achievement of this election, in my view, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, has been the phenomenal gains in the Adivasi areas. Because it shows you the bankruptcy of the Congress in thinking that they had that vote sewn up and you do nothing for them. So the Sangathan outreach, you know, that's what I'm saying. That is
so basically the Sangathan, the RSS stamp, Sameer Chaugankar, do you think it has become stronger than ever? You have from Vishnu Dev Sai, who works against the idea of conversion in the Sarguja tribal area, to Mohan Yadav, who is very openly, you know, he talks about his Sangh roots, he says, "Main Mahakal ka bhakt hoon," to even Bhajan Lal Sharma, who has been a State General Secretary, he has been an organization secretary, and he also works for cow protection. So he's been a very vocal, spokesperson against cow slaughter and what happens on the border of Haryana and Rajasthan. Is this the big Sangh push within the BJP government? Sameer Chaugankar.
बिल्कुल एब्सोल्यूट ट्रू पद्मजा। भारतीय जनता पार्टी 2014 के बाद जब प्रधानमंत्री मोदी केंद्र में आए हैं उसके बाद से संघ और संगठन के तरफ जो ध्यान भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने दिया है। अब देखिए मनोहर लाल खट्टर हरियाणा के प्रचारक रहे संघ के, वो मुख्यमंत्री बने। देवेंद्र फडणवीस के फादर संघ के प्रचारक रहे थे। उसके बाद देवेंद्र फडणवीस संघ से क्लोजली जुड़े हुए वो महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री बने। आप ये मध्य प्रदेश में भी देख सकते हैं, या राजस्थान में भी देख सकते हैं, छत्तीसगढ़ में जिस तरीके से मुख्यमंत्रियों का चयन हुआ है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने वहां के स्थापित नेताओं को पीछे कर या उन्हें केंद्र में लाने का बनाकर अब वहां पर जो संघ के स्वयंसेवक थे, अब ये तय है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंदर जितने भी बड़े नेता आएंगे ग्रास रूट लेवल से, वह संघ की पृष्ठभूमि के आएंगे। इन तीनों राज्यों ने ये बता दिया। आप देखिए विष्णुदेव साय संघ पृष्ठभूमि से आए, मोहन यादव संघ पृष्ठभूमि से है, और अभी आज जो राजस्थान के अंदर मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं भजन लाल शर्मा, ये संघ रूट से आए। संघ अब अपने प्रचारकों को, अपने स्वयंसेवकों को भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंदर बड़े पदों के ऊपर भेज रहा है। और सिर्फ ये सरकार में नहीं हो रहा है, आप संगठन में भी देख सकते हैं। BL संतोष के संगठन महामंत्री बनने के बाद, उसके पहले रामलाल थे, रामलाल जी ने शुरुआत की थी, और अब BL संतोष के संगठन महा बनने के बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी अगर आप देखेंगे तो लगातार संघ के स्वयंसेवक लगातार अब बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। मुझे लग रहा है प्रधानमंत्री मोदी एक अनुशासित संगठन के अनुशासित स्वयंसेवकों को सत्ता के अंदर भागीदारी बढ़ाते हुए जा रहे हैं। और ये तय है कि आने वाले दिनों में AVP या राष्ट्रीय सेवा संघ के पृष्ठभूमि के लोग ही आपको सत्ता और संगठन में दिखेंगे।
Okay, what is the importance of the Brahmin vote? So while everyone is focusing on the tribals, the Dalits, the OBCs given representation, but is the BJP also saying we cannot ignore our core constituency? The upper caste should not feel marginalized, because let's see how that vote behaves and what is its importance, not just in Rajasthan, but across the country. The composition in Rajasthan of the upper caste is 25%, and yes, 61% of them voted for the BJP. Across India, there is a 22% upper caste vote, and of this, nearly 3/4, 74% voted for the BJP. So the message is, yes, you are a dedicated voter, but that doesn't mean that you are being taken for granted or that you are being ignored. People who are from the grassroots, young, have worked for the Sangathan, are also eventually going to get their due. Remember, this person is a first-time MLA, but I want to draw your attention to one image today. समीर जी, आज शिवराज सिंह चौहान कुछ लाडली बहनाओं से मिले थे और वहां पर वो भावुक हो गए। दोनों महिलाएं रोने लगी, शिवराज भी थोड़े से भावुक दिखे। बहुत से लोग कह रहे थे कि ऐसा लग रहा है कि शिवराज जी का मूड खराब है। Could there be some trouble in paradise from मध्य प्रदेश to राजस्थान? यहाँ शिवराज जी का मूड खराब है, वहां वसुंधरा जी का मूड खराब लग रहा था, और कुछ ऐसा विश्लेषक कह रहे थे। समीर जी,
देखिए रमन सिंह का भी मूड खराब रहा होगा जब उन्हें मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनाया होगा। इट्स बट नेचुरल है ना, कोई एक मुख्यमंत्री अगर 18 साल प्रदेश का मुख्यमंत्री रहा हो, सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता रहा हो, रमन सिंह 15 साल मुख्यमंत्री रहे हो, वसुंधरा राजे 25 साल से राजस्थान की सबसे बड़ी नेता रही थी। 2 बार प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी, दोनों बार मुख्यमंत्री वसुंधरा राजे बनी। तो निश्चित रूप से जो स्थापित नेता उसे लगता है कि मैं प्रदेश का सबसे बड़ा नेता हूं, मेरे नाम पे चुनाव लड़ा गया है या मैं सबसे लोकप्रिय, तो मुझे मुख्यमंत्री बनने की अधिकार है। लेकिन अब यह सोचना पड़ेगा कि एक व्यक्ति संगठन में या सरकार में लगातार एक पद पर नहीं रह सकता। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने बहुत स्पष्ट कर दिया है। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ये कहते हैं कि कोई सांसद अगर ये कहता है कि मैं 5 बार का सांसद हूं, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि
nobody can take that position for granted. I want to show another image also for everyone saying there's rebellion in the ranks. Let's take a look at the parchi which apparently Vasundhara Raje had at the time that the name was to be announced, and she was the proposer. Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, she was the proposer in the case of Mohan Yadav. Shivraj Singh Chauhan proposed his name. So you might think कि भाई अब बस बगावत होने वाली है, वो अपने 40 MLA लेकर के सीधे ईगल्टन रिजॉर्ट डीके शिव कुमार के होटल पहुंच जाएंगे, बट वसुंधरा राजे खुद पर्ची से नाम अनाउंस कर रही हैं। कमर जमान चौधरी,
no, Padmaja, you are confusing the things out here. Padmaja, the basic question that the chief ministers have been announced out of the blue for everybody, for you, for me, and anybody in India. We never expected those names because they were never doing the rounds. Now, it took 10 to 12 days to announce the names of the chief minister of Rajasthan. There were, of course, backdoor meetings going on, cajoling going on. Who knows what was happening within the BJP ranks? Nobody knows. But she was maybe promised something very important in the BJP ranks, that she simply had to propose the name. She had no other option. But it's good for Rajasthan. They've got a new chief minister. Hope he works for the development.
Okay,
because
let's also play out. By the way, what Shivraj Singh Chauhan subsequently said when people asked him about this 18 years and now you're out of power. Let's listen in to what he said about his expectations from his party.
मैं आज कह रहा हूं साहब, एक साधारण कार्यकर्ता को 18 साल मुख्यमंत्री बना के रखा भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने। कोई दूसरा पहलू नहीं देखते क्या? एक साधारण कार्यकर्ता को इतने साल भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिसने मुख्यमंत्री बना के रखा, सब कुछ दिया भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने मुझे, अब मुझे भारतीय जनता पार्टी को देने का वक्त आया है।
यहां भी रिबेलियन नहीं हुआ। अनुराग भदौरिया वो कह रहे हैं मैं साधारण कार्यकर्ता हूं, 18 साल मुझे प्रिविलेज मिला कि मेरे को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया गया। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू गो बैक एंड विन 29 सीट्स फॉर द बीजेपी।
देखिए, सबसे बड़ा सवाल क्या है कि कभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी, अभी तो थोड़ी देर पहले कह रही थी कि मैं कास्ट की पॉलिटिक्स नहीं करती हूं, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी तो कास्ट की राजनीति करना चाहता है। हम तो कहते हैं विकास की राजनीति करो। कह रहे हैं हम सीट जीत के देंगे, ठीक है, आप सीट जीत के दीजिए, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन भाई हमारे विकास की बात कब होगी? सरकार कभी भी बात नहीं करती है, किसानों के हित की बात नहीं करती है।
का फॉर्मूला करते हैं
किसानों की बात करेगी,
पीवीडीए तो आप लिखते नहीं है कि पिछड़ा, विकास, दलित और आदिवासी। आप भी पीडीए की राजनीति करते हैं, एमवाई की राजनीति करते हैं, आप एमवी की राजनीति तो करते नहीं कि मुसलमान और विकास की राजनीति करेंगे। और अब आप कह रहे हैं बाकी सब लोग कास्टिस्ट हैं।
अरे आपको ऐसा लगता है ना, आपको ऐसा लगता है ना क्योंकि आपकी सोच ऐसी हो सकती है, क्योंकि विकास आपको दिखाई नहीं पड़ता। हमने कहा मेरा काम बोलता है। समाजवादी का स्लोगन यही है, समाजवादी का स्लोगन यही है, काम बोलता है। मैं आपकी डिबेट में जब से बैठा, अरे सुन तो लीजिए, मैं आपकी डिबेट में जब से बैठा हूं, मैंने किसान के मुद्दे पे बात की, मैंने महंगाई पे बात की, मैंने बेरोजगारी पे चर्चा की, महिला समस्या पे चर्चा की, यहाँ पे बिजली के पे चर्चा की।
आपको लगता नहीं है कि जाति की राजनीति की वजह से
चर्चा की? तो हम तो चर्चा करते हैं ना, अरे हम तो चर्चा कर ही रहे हैं विकास की, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के आपने कोई एक शब्द किसान के लिए निकला कि किसानों के लिए काला कानून
चर्चा किसान पे नहीं हो रही है ना, इस वक्त ये हो रहा है कि भाई कास्ट कैलकुलेशन क्या है।
नहीं करते ये
कमाल की बात करें आप। एनीवे, लेट मी गिव द फाइनल वर्ड टू संजू वर्मा। संजू वर्मा, इज दिस अ कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क or a huge risk that you're going with completely new faces and only the prime minister as the mascot, where essentially it will be MP के मन में मोदी, UP के मन में मोदी, तेलंगाना के मन में मोदी, and everyone else is just executing his plans?
थैंक यू पद्मजा, विथ नो ऑफेंस टू यू, बाकी सब अनुराग भदौरिया यहाँ पर किसानों की बात कर रहे थे। आई कम टू योर क्वेश्चन, तो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड मिस्टर भदौरिया, almost 3 lakh crore has been distributed to farmers via PM Kisan. You spoke of unemployment, it has hit a record low of 3.2%. You spoke about inflation. The inflation has hit a low of 4.87% CPI and wholesale inflation is a negative 0.52%. But answering Padmaja's question, Padmaja, you never change your winning horse midway through the race. And Prime Minister Modi is by far the most popular leader ever in Indian polity in the last 7.5 decades. And I think you don't need to understand Indian politics to understand this basic fact. But most importantly, I will just leave by saying this. जो लोग इंटरनल विदलन की आशा और अपेक्षा कर रहे हैं बीजेपी से, when Sarbanand Sonowal, the sitting chief minister, was replaced by Himanta Biswa Sarma, it was a seamless transfer of power. When Tirath Singh Rawat and Trivendra Singh Rawat were sidelined and a new face, Pushkar Singh Dhami, was made the Uttarakhand chief minister, and then he won us the state, there was a seamless transfer of power. When Thawar Chand Gehlot, the Minister of Social Justice, was sent to Karnataka as governor, there was seamless transfer of power. When Kiran Rijiju was removed as Union Law Minister and Arjun Meghwal was made the Union Law Minister, there was no sign of any rebellion whatsoever. And last but not the least, when Vijay Rupani replaced Anandiben Patel and when Vijay Rupani was replaced by Bhupendra Bhai Patel, there was seamless transfer of power because BJP mein log, they don't wash their dirty laundry in public.
Okay.
Congress ka DNA ye hai ki wash our dirty laundry in public. Iske bina to kaam chalega hi nahi. That is why. That is one of the biggest reasons you lost Rajasthan because Sachin.
But you're saying there is dirty laundry to be washed. It's just being done privately. That's in a lighter note. I'll give the final word to Sabha Naqvi. Sabha Naqvi, risk or rewards? Where is this going?
I don't think it's a risk in the Hindi belt, Padmaja. It was a risk in Karnataka. I don't think at this point. Also, I'm again saying that the Prime Minister, because even in Gujarat, in his 3 terms, he would always have a different selling point at the end of each term. You know, because I've written a book, so all of that, I can recall all that. So if the first election was about something, this one is about Modi ki guarantee. It is going to be about deliveries. It is going to be, and as you pointed out, each one of the choices is also deeply committed to the Hindutva agendas, be it against conversion in Chhattisgarh, where this, you know, Dilip Singh Judio, once upon a time, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad did a lot of work over there. So, and you are informing me, I'm hearing this on your show because I didn't know very much about the Rajasthan Chief Minister, that he's involved in the cow issue. I didn't know that till I'm sitting here tonight. So, you know, things like that. But the main thing is, how do you mobilize and give the incentives to the worker, motivate them? I think that's his play for the Hindi belt. And certainly the Yadav choice is, of course, with a big eye on Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. I mean, don't think that the
UP,
BJP...
Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, which also has a sizable population of Yadavs in 2024, it is going to be very, very significant. And that's the reason why that the Samajwadi Party was also contesting, because of the Yadav population that is present in Madhya Pradesh. I'm going to leave it at that. Very interesting calculations at play. How they translate on the ground, we'll keep a close watch. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Sanju Verma, Sabha Naqvi for joining me. It's been over a week since Rajya Sabha MP Dheeraj Sahu's allegedly illegal assets first made headlines. The Income Tax Department has been busy counting wads and wads of cash that was seized from 30 locations across 3 states. The cash as it stands right now is worth over 350 crores and they are still counting. The kind of numbers associated with this cash haul are mind-boggling. You had over 50 people who counted for over 7 days. There were multiple wardrobes in which the cash had been stashed. Multiple machines had to be brought in, and that's the reason why today the Prime Minister actually spoke of how this is akin to a money heist. How has the Congress reacted so far? The Congress has said, we're distancing ourselves. We have nothing to say. The man himself is going to explain where his money comes from. We're not entirely certain it's illegal or not. They apparently have even issued a show cause notice to him. But is that enough for the Congress to escape the heat in what the BJP clearly is planning to make a pan-India issue? Let's take this across. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, also continues with us, as does Sameer Chaugankar and Kamar Zaman Chaudhary. Kamar Zaman Chaudhary, simple question to you. Here was a man who contested on a Lok Sabha ticket from Jharkhand. He lost. The Congress sent him to the Rajya Sabha. For what joy? If you have nothing to do with him, if it's private wealth, you know, you have a huge distance from him, why did the Congress send him to the Rajya Sabha not once or twice but thrice?
Now, Padmaja, are you suggesting that the money that has been seized belongs to the Congress party or to an individual businessman who was caught cheating the tax authorities in India?
I'm suggesting nothing. I'm asking you. Why did you send him to Rajya Sabha?
BJP appointing. No, that's what I'm counter questioning you. Why? What logic was there when
I'm
the
counter questioning you that when there are such able people like you in the Congress, why not send you? You are agitating against Mamta Banerjee, taking her lathi dandas, and you are not being sent to Rajya Sabha. This man with 176 bags of currency notes is being sent thrice. Kuch to inme hoga na?
The Padmaja, you are suggesting that this man was financing the Congress party. Now, you tell me 60,000 crores was the approximate money that was spent during 2019 elections, out of which 14,000 crores was collected through the electoral bonds, that is an opaque system, collected from the crony capitalists by the Bharatiya Janata Party to corner contracts to them. Now, coming to the 46,000 crores of cash that was estimated to be used in 2019
What
MP
are you talking
election.
about? This is not about bonds, sir. My question to you is very simple. Why did you send Dheeraj Sahu to Rajya Sabha? Give me a reason. Is he a great humanitarian? Does he run orphanages? Has he donated to some humanitarian cause? He's planting saplings every day. Why did you send him to the Rajya Sabha?
Padmaja, 30 seconds for me to reply, then you can counter cross me.
But answer the question.
Why did you appoint Himanta Biswa Sharma as the CM of Assam? Why did you appoint
But the question cannot be answered with a question,
Why did the ED
sir.
close the case against Chhagan Bhujbal?
A question cannot be answered with a question.
You are confusing things. This is not the case when Bharatiya Janata Party and the Aam Aadmi Party colluded to form the India Against Corruption in 2013.
You are still not answering the question. Let me ask you one more question. Let me ask you one more question. Where is Dheeraj Sahu?
Finish.
Where is Dheeraj Sahu?
Letting me finish. You are not letting me finish. I am here to answer your questions, but you must understand the logic which I am saying out here.
Okay.
BJP cannot claim to be holier than thou. Hammam mein sab nanga hai. If an individual is accused of corruption, then the party is not responsible for it. But
okay, Hammam mein sab nange hai is your basic argument and your answer. If you have people in your mix, Sanju Verma, then so does the Congress.
Padmaja, I heard now for a good 6 to 7 minutes, he made zero sense. I don't wish to be heckled because this happens most often. There are 4 people from the Dot Dot Alliance and then they come and start, launching a tirade. Pehli baat, when Madan Virupakshappa was found with 2 or 6 or 8 crores, he and his son were denied MLA tickets. But look at the irony. DK Shivkumar, who's facing trial in a 700 crore money laundering case, which is still sub judice, is not only the Deputy Chief Minister, but is the CM in waiting. That is the difference between BJP and the Congress. You know, the Congress and Jairam Ramesh in particular, I will not hold back, any names here. I will call a spade a spade. He says, Dheeraj Sahu kaun hai? Hame to pata hi nahi. Dheeraj Sahu's father, Baldev Sahu, was a Congress leader. Dheeraj Sahu is a 3-time Rajya Sabha MP. Dheeraj Sahu's brother, Gopal Sahu, contested Lok Sabha 2019. He lost. That's a different story on a Congress ticket. Dheeraj Sahu's brother, Rajeshwar Sahu, is a Congress leader. पूरा का पूरा धीरज साहू और उनका खानदान कांग्रेस की छत्र छाया में फलता रहा, फूलता रहा. कांग्रेस के लिए भ्रष्टाचार ही शिष्टाचार है और लूट तंत्र ही लोकतंत्र है. एंड राहुल गांधी, आई वांट टू आस्क यू, सिंस यू आर फेमस फॉर यहां से आलू डालो वहां से सोना निकलेगा, यू कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट अडानी अडानी अडानी. मिस्टर गांधी, प्लीज टेल मी, how did you buy 5,000 crore plus worth of assets from AJL?
Okay, let's stick to the topic, please. Let's stick to Dheeraj Sahu for a second. Sabha Naqvi, can the Congress safely distance themselves, or is this going to be an embarrassment? In living memory, I don't remember 351 crores of 27 counting machines and, people sitting there and making it seem like it genuinely looks like a scene out of Money Heist. Is this going to stick to the Congress?
Look, I think it right now it's an amazing visual. Who sees so much rooms of cash and so on and so forth? So it doesn't look good. But let's face it, we also know that political finance is entirely dominated by the Bharatiya Janata Party. You can't ignore that. Yes, one guy has been caught. He's a Congress Rajya Sabha MP. And if you want to get into the unsavory characters who are MP, I don't want to get into one UP guy who is accused of many things. We don't want to go there now. You know, so we're not. It is about the visual image, but it is a visual age. This is going to look bad. I've never seen this kind of a raid of so much cash. But the Congress is going to hit back. They are going to say, Adani, and they certainly have a right to point out, if they were more rational, I believe what they need to say is that political finance is almost entirely dominated by the Bharatiya Janata Party. It has never been so in India's history. From 2014 onwards, it is not. Okay. If you look at it, the cost of elections, according to this is the official, this is not the hidden money in cupboards. Affidavits with the Election Commission of India, the electoral bonds, what the ADR tells us, so on and so forth. The BJP has almost got all the political finance. The other parties have very little.
Okay, Sameer ji, what do you make of this argument कि सबको पता है कि पैसा लगता है चुनाव में, साहू साहब पकड़े गए. That's the only difference.
बिल्कुल, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं कि राजनीतिक दल पैसों से चलते हैं, लेकिन पैसा किस तरीके से ले गया और किससे लिया गया ये बहुत मायने रखता है. क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास कोई भी ऐसा सांसद के पास कभी पैसा निकला? भारत के आजाद इतिहास में पहली बार सांसद के पास इतना कैश निकला है. और ये बताता है कि राज्यसभा में कांग्रेस कैसे लोगों को भेजती है. ये बताता है कि कांग्रेस के अंदर राज्यसभा के जो टिकट दिए जाते हैं वो पैसों के दम पे दिए जाते हैं. आप मुझे भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक भी राज्यसभा सांसद बता दीजिए जो अरबपति या करोड़पति हो, जिसका इतना बड़ा बिजनेस हो. सादे से कार्यकर्ताओं को राज्यसभा में अंदर भेजा जाता है. मध्य प्रदेश में राज्यसभा गई आदिवासी महिला, क्या उसके पास फाइनेंशियल स्थिति है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंदर भी पैसों से पार्टी चलती है, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. लेकिन साफ तरीके से अगर डोनेशन लिया गया तो उसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है. कांग्रेस के अंदर लगातार आप देखिए पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, मध्य प्रदेश के अंदर कमलनाथ का आप देख लीजिए, कमलनाथ के भांजे के ऊपर रेड और सीबीआई की जांच चल रही है. क्या कमलनाथ उसकी जिम्मेदारी ली?
कमर जमान चौधरी
के ऊपर जांच चल रही है, क्या उसकी जिम्मेदारी ली?
It's about dirty cash. Kamar Zaman Chaudhary, name a Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP caught with this much money.
Who sponsored Vijay Mallya to the Rajya Sabha? Can you just refresh the viewers' memory? It was the GDS supported by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Was Bangaru Lakshman, the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party, caught red-handed with the cash? Why are you so opaque in your opinions in this country?
Okay.
You can't be more biased in your dialogue than this dialogue of Shahu. Because Shahu does not represent the Congress. A dishonest person who cheated the tax authorities of India, as it is presumed, cannot be linked to the Congress party.
Sanju Verma responds. Sanju Verma.
Thank you. First and foremost, let me correct this fallacy and this myth which has been propagated more than 10 dozen times. BJP did not sponsor Vijay Mallya. BJP was not the party which supported him. He was sponsored by the Janata Dal United, and today it is the Congress which is in power with the JDU in Bihar. Thoda debate par pad likh kar aaya karo, point number 1. And I just, without being offensive, I want to tell Sabha one thing. Yes, BJP is one of the biggest election machines. It's a known fact. You need money to fight elections. But listen to what Raghuram Rajan, who's the poster boy of the Congress, said. And Sabha Lakshmi said something similar. Raghuram Rajan said, it is an unfair advantage which the BJP enjoys क्योंकि सारा check के साथ जो काम होता है वो BJP करती है. So the Congress has no other option but to do business, as in fund their elections with cash. By saying that BJP सारा कुछ check के साथ करती है, Raghuram Rajan has admitted that BJP funds elections legally because the money that is transacted via checks can be trailed. So, you are indirectly...
No, I think Raghuram Rajan's point was that BJP has all the monopoly over corporate funding. So the other guys have no option but to keep money in suitcases. I think that was the larger point. Not that that makes it okay. I mean, you get people to fund you one way or the other. Sabha, very quickly, 30 seconds, yes.
I was just wondering, and I've forgotten, I'm asking you, which party did Sukram belong to? Was it BJP, Congress? Because money was found in his bed. I think, and his son is now, if you remember, I mean, it shows you I'm much older than all of you. But I think there was money found inside his bed.
Yeah, it
Now,
was found in his mattress. Although at the time he was in the Congress when the mattress was opened. Later on, of course, he switched over. But it's a very, very long history if we start delving into that. That being said, I can tell you this, viewers, 7 days, and even now as we speak, the smaller currency notes are being counted. For the normal human beings like us, this just seems straight out of a film or a OTT series like Money Heist. Politically, how it translates, we'll keep a watch. Thanks very much, both gentlemen. Sabha Naqvi, Sanju Verma for joining me. Thanks for watching.